Today is day 5 of 10 biblical things for which to be thankful. And today I'm highlighting the conscience. I'm saying I'm thankful for a biblically informed conscience. Yesterday, you may remember, I mentioned that God reveals himself to us through his creation. And by that, I was saying that one way we know God exists is to observe his creation, and we see the divine designer. But we also know that God exists because he has written his law on our hearts. He has revealed himself to us through our conscience. Romans 2 explains that because God's law is written on our hearts, our conscience will either accuse us or excuse us. That's how a healthy conscience is supposed to work. If you violate God's law, you'll have a sense of guilt, and that comes from your conscience. But contrastingly, if you're accused of something that you're not guilty of, your conscience will excuse you. You know you didn't do it, and they may accuse you, but you know you're not guilty of that thing. Or maybe you did the thing they're accusing you of, but you know that it's not actually bad or wrong because the law of God is written on your heart. They're accusing you of something that's just preferential nonsense. So your conscience will excuse you in that moment. Again, this is how a healthy conscience works. However, the Bible explains that a conscience can become unhealthy. Your conscience can malfunction. A person can have a seared conscience, or they can have a weak or a defiled conscience. A person can have a wounded or even an evil conscience. So in order to have a healthy conscience, it must be a biblically informed conscience. Some people do stuff, and it's obviously evil stuff, and we think, how can they do that? It's because they don't have a biblically informed conscience. And when they were born, the Lord gave them a healthy conscience, but somewhere along the way, maybe through influences that they have willingly taken in, their conscience has become unhealthy or defiled or even seared. They now have an evil conscience. They have suppressed the law of God that's written on their hearts, and now their conscience is malfunctioning. But it doesn't have to be that way. If over the years you've done a lot of things that have contaminated your conscience, the Bible talks about purging your conscience from dead works. You can have your hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience. A person can have a good conscience, a pure conscience again. I'm saying that putting the 10 Commandments back in our public schools helps students have an informed conscience. And raising kids in a Deuteronomy 6 way helps them to have a biblically informed conscience. I'm thankful today that as best as I can tell, I have a healthy conscience. I'm saying I still feel guilty when I do something that I know displeases God, but I also feel liberated when I'm accused of something that I know I didn't do or that isn't actually bad. As we lead up to Thanksgiving, I'm saying I'm thankful for a healthy conscience because it's a biblically informed conscience and the law of God has been written on my heart. So if you appreciate God's ministry to us through our conscience, give this video a thumbs up and be sure to comment below and let me know your thoughts about the conscience of our country, or maybe comment below your favorite Bible verse about the conscience. And don't forget to join me tomorrow, which will be day 6 of 10 biblical things for which to be thankful.